All right, good morning, everyone. Once again, starting with my little message to please like and subscribe if you guys like what I'm doing and want to continue watching. Um, we're a little bit late out of the house this morning, so we're just going to do the basic roundabout that's close to my community. I had some audio clipping issues last night. It looks like this is okay. I don't know if I was talking too loud just overall. I'll watch for that and continue to make things better. As I get used to my gimbal. I also did order a small light. So these were better lit in the morning. However, the light was so it was meant to be for a phone, so it was meant to be small, but my gimbal really doesn't like it because it makes it unbalanced. So it was either the light or holding my phone up to the whole time while I'm walking. So I don't think that's going to be a real sustainable thing. So shot a video last night that was in light, and I thought that turned out quite a bit better as far as the quality, but I'm going to continue to work on the quality for you guys and for myself, so I have stuff that I'm proud of. And I'll probably need to look for a light solution that's as light as possible for this little gimbal motor, and maybe a better gimbal. I don't know. These DJI ones seem to be the ones most people use. So, all right. Hey Siri, start an outdoor workout. There she goes. But it was nice to get a recording done last night in the sun, and later in the day, probably a little bit more energized, a little more energetic. These mornings I tend to be groggier, right? As most people are at 4 a.m. Admittedly, did not get my, as suggested, 8 hours of sleep. 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Got a little bit more like 6.5. And once again, up late, trying to figure out some of this stuff with uploading. Had a problem with the video uploading due to the size of this phone videos end up being. But we'll get all that stuff sorted. My friend Vin, who I mentioned last night's video, his videography and cinematography is just his work. His workflow he's developed over years, and I'll develop my own, especially if I'm trying to stay just on the phone. Right now, I have that video uploading on the computer, so this will be uploaded tonight. Hopefully, that won't be in the morning, and just kind of continue daily. I don't know what the plan is, that I get you guys a video every single day. That's a little much, but I should probably just do like I recommend to you guys, and I shoot for my 80%. So there's mornings I can't get it to you, or days I can't get it to you. Great. Probably get uploaded at one point, because I will always have my walks, and that's also something I'm thinking about as well, is doing my walks. Should I be filming my 15-minute walks? I just feel that my longer walk in the morning is the way you start your day. And normally I guess you say, like, more meditative for me during the other parts of the day. I don't know if I would say that I'm trying to think in other parts of the day. Um, I get done with lunch and take my little walk. I just try to get a walk around like 9 o'clock, my first bit of sun exposure. Um, and at that time, because I've been working, I don't think my walk is about thinking and activating my brain. My walk is about just like, hey, shut the hell up for a second, shut down, take a little rest. Um, those are the times too, want people to like look up, but when I'm on my walks at that time, yeah, I'll look at my phone a little bit. So funny, I mentioned mentioned this to a friend, and start creating content. I definitely have started consuming a little less content. I don't. I think part of that's a good thing. Like part of it also is I do need to make sure I then practice active listening on the content that I do choose, because I have to be influenced in some way. But I think, as I mentioned in my very first video, when I was having lots and lots of content around, was listening to lots and lots of YouTube content, and it just eventually turned into background noise. Imagine having to select your background noise at like 10-minute clips at a time. It's like a little bit of wasted time. I'm gonna wait for this person to go. But anyways, there we go, going off somewhere, and then my brain leaves me. If I put my hood up, will that look weird? A little bit, tad bit nipply this morning, so a little bit more protection against the cold. And I have all the people that watch me from back home. It's like, he said cold? Shit. This is much preferred route to going down Jones, which I had done that walk down Jones for dozens of times, not thinking to come down the street on the other side where there are infinitely less cars, and I can have a nice simple sidewalk walk without cars all over the place. And it's electric bicycle. Snuck up on me. Does Tesla make electric bicycles? I know someone that works at Tesla. I know like 2 people that work at Tesla. I should ask them. Seems like something that you'd want to do. Seems like something for the way our society is going, that you would want to design a bunch of electric bicycles, because they are things that don't take up very much space and can scoot people around. I imagine the electric motor, even the battery for it, wouldn't have to be incredibly large, because it's just hauling a person and not a damn car around with it. Be good for metropolitan areas. But all right, so we're starting to release things in our head that were kind of initially there when we're waking up. And so now we get a chance to hopefully settle the brain down and get the inner monologue. Once again, I'm trying to make sure I don't feel pressure to entertain you guys, because I want to make sure from the almost the meditative aspect. Thinking about my schedule. I ship out for Phoenix tomorrow morning for that conference I've been talking about. So I have a little bit of, I'm not sensing that I have anxiety for the conference, which is good. We got puppers this morning. Woof, 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 woof. But no anxiety for the conference, which is good. As a person that I guess would have self-diagnosed social anxiety, that could always be an issue. I think I'm more anxious about the things. The house isn't as clean as I want. Having my friend take care of Mr. Mickey. They do a great job, but I just miss my cat, man. Love being around my cat. Love being around my baby. But just knowing that today I gotta pack. I gotta cycle through laundry. Have to try and clean the house a little bit because I don't know. Tell in the comments, that's a good thing. Like, what do people? I really dislike the feeling of coming back from traveling. If I come back to the house and there's dishes that have to be done, laundry that has to be done, there's crap out on the counter. It doesn't make me feel like settled and at like super at home sometimes. So I try to always get the house in a pretty decent shape before I leave, which is almost the worst time because you're scrambling. It's just like not only are you kind of scrambling to get a bunch of stuff together and prepare, and then yes, you have to clean, but that's the reason why we clean though. This is good for clearing your space mentally. So, all right, loogie time. We are almost out of the lasting symptoms from all of these sicknesses. Thank God. I can, I'll see with the audio. I can even tell. I feel like my voice is less hoarse and everything now, so that's good. We like that for talking. And I think one of the reasons I'm concerned about my schedule is I didn't tell the person yes, but I got invited to meet with some old coworkers tonight up at the Red Rock Casino. Cool spot here in Vegas. It's off strip. Probably one of my favorite off strip properties here because everything is pretty nice and classy. It's in a good spot, downtown Summerlin. Lots of shopping. I think if somebody were to come in town and be kind of interested in doing outdoors hikes and be close to Red Rock, Red Rock Park, that's where they should go. But a little worried about it. Just the idea of getting done with work today, which I'm leaving for conference, so it's like hey, do I have a lot of work I still need to get done? Yeah. But then at conference, I'm not going to be able to get any work done. None at all. Except for, that whole thing of the conference while you're there. It's me being a VP of sales, I am working the whole time, networking, talking to people, handing out business cards, taking their business cards, leaving good impressions. Uh, something definitely learned from my first conference is I think very rarely I have to go into my pitch mode. And I think if you are going in your pitch mode too much, you're just like a salesperson. So my CEO talks to me about disarming people. It helps with the personal relationships, and not, who we are as a company. Not like being needy and trying to qualify yourself. You're almost like qualifying them. Old sales tactics. Probably need to start listening to more Jeremy Minor. I like that guy. There's also is it Andy Elliott? I thought Elliott's in his name. He looks like he should be in the Marines, or that he was in the Marines. He had to have been in the Marines or some shit like that. Pretty yoked guy. Just a yoke. He's just like lean. Does a lot of helps a lot of car sales teams. That's a guy I've listened to. Sometimes he's a little much, but I think that he might also fall underneath the hustle culture umbrella, which is a little toxic. My Gen Z and millennial talk. Toxic culture. Toxic masculinity. Every time I start to dive into hustle and grindset culture, I think that I need to be just on it freaking 24/7. I understand if you're trying to make money and move up in this world, sometimes you're gonna lose sleep, and I definitely get it, but it's definitely not something it gets talked about all the time. You get an Instagram reel about it all the time. Who cares? Work harder. Bah, 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 bah. Right? Nobody. I think that's because I'm in like the fitness space, and it's so easy to be like, no one cares. Work harder. Well, in general terms, you do work harder in the gym, and yes, you're going to get better results by working harder in the gym. Now, what that means is that could mean volume. That could mean connecting with yourself and your body, so you're able to exert more effort. Because I know this. I know if you're a beginner in the gym, you probably haven't learned to exert effort properly to elicit some of the responses you're looking for, elicit the max level of growth. If you're a complete beginner, you're just going to hang out at newbie gains, right? Just even getting those muscles activated, they're like, holy shit, the storm is a coming. We need to start building some big old chesticles and glutes. The saber-toothed tiger is upon us, right? That's the way your body's going to respond, especially as a newbie. But then farther and farther along, it's kind of, we've got used to this. We're set, and you have to give it something new. And that's kind of like the methodology even behind CrossFit, by having it being highly varied, but you don't have to do CrossFit for that. But if you learn to exert yourself, if you learn to come to can bring it for every set, you can learn to push yourself, your musculature, your target muscle group, to or beyond failure, to give it some sort of stimulus, a reason to grow. The easiest way, of course, to do that is through progressive overload. I think if I do a short route, a short walk, I'm gonna go down this street on the side of the school and just go right through. Looking at the time, we're at like 21 minutes. I think I made it back around last time 40 to do this big lap. That's okay, we can do the 40 today. I didn't get a long one, and yesterday I talked about that on my video from yesterday, so could also just turn around because then I don't have to go back down Jones. I'm gonna do that. We're gonna turn right back around. Whee! All right, let's do that because we're already at 20 minutes. But yes, so how to activating growth. Yeah, usually through progressive overload. The one thing that so for CrossFit, it's typically kind of built in. You have a WOD or a workout. You just simply learn to handle it better, and then you scale yourself up in some way in weight or more reps so you can handle more and more fatigue. Would this take me less time and shortcut it? I just kind of want to see. And there's a little nature around the backside of the school, which is good too. Get a little bit more green in the eyes for the monkey brain, the ape, the bipedal nomadic ape that we are. But with a bodybuilding program, strength building program, powerlifting, all of them have, mesocycles and either different rep ranges or rep speeds. But that will challenge you. So the progressive overload is the thing that is built into it at the core. So really, like beginners, I really want them more worried about that progressive overload and doing simple movements that they can easily build upon and record it. I don't record a lot of my weights. I record my PRs, but I don't record a lot of my weights. I normally am pretty good at cataloging where I was. And then I also tend to lean towards RPE, which is setting a rate of perceived exertion and recognizing where I'm at for the day. One thing I've liked about the program I'm designing that has a peak set with back offs on hypertrophy is that peak set will let you know what's going on. For the CrossFit folks, it's basically kind of like build to heavy for the day, and it's going to be in pretty much every workout I do. Pretty much every one of the program in the Strength Foundation program, pretty much every day you have some sort of peak set that is built to your heavy. But the peak set is not a 10 out of 10 RPE of, we are not actually setting a PR. We're trying to set a PR during that time. It's just something, can we get you at an 8 or perhaps even a 9 out of 10 for the day, and then back off into hypertrophy. But when you're doing simpler compound movements, kind of the classic big three bench press, squat, and deadlift. I would probably put overhead press in that. I say the big five overhead press, and then probably the barbell row, like kind of the big five. I like some of these houses over here. They got kind of like a column pillar thing going on in the front, like a, what's the thing, like Victorian style porch front of house mixed with southwest. It's interesting. Nice. I want to eventually buy and live over here. Shit's tough though. Probably talking to some other millennials here that are how about that housing market? How about that economy? I mean, Gen Z, I don't think will even sniff it. They don't even know. I guess I got to see what Gen Z really is. You guys are, I think Gen Z is those like our mid-20s now for the oldest ones. So they're coming into this. Some of them, if they got started early and were YouTube stars or Instagram or TikTok stars, then they don't have a problem buying houses anyways. But just for the people that have normal ass jobs, they probably aren't even is it Gen Zero or, but I don't even know what the generation is behind them. Educate myself on that. I don't even know if they'll sniff being able to own homes the way things are going. But I would love to continue living in this area and buy something here, just because everything is so central in this area. They were putting up houses right next to my apartment complex. I was thinking about like the last 2 years, like, oh, that'd be so nice. I'm just not prepared for it. Maybe if you guys subscribe and like enough times listening to me talk randomly my thoughts in the morning, maybe we can eventually get there. Who knows? But yes, on a simplified program where bench, squat, deadlift are being introduced, and really any movement, adding 2.5 pounds, adding 5 pounds, all right, is like beginners too. Like, let's say your max deadlift is 150 pounds, which most people should be able to do right off the riff. Let's put it at 200 pounds, maybe to make it more realistic. But let's say it's 200 pounds. Being able to increase 5 pounds a week. In 4 weeks, your 200 became like 220 from a percentage aspect. Then you've increased your percentage by 5% in a month. That's not that realistic. I think the deadlift, when you first get started as a complete beginner, that's one that's going to rock it up. Squat, same one. Bench press naturally because it's upper, and overhead press naturally because it's an upper body movement. Upper body movement, obviously, smaller muscles being involved, you're not going to be able to move as much weight. You guys kind of have to put it in perspective, percentages, I guess you could say. But being able to increase 5% weight over the course of a month, it's pretty aggressive for most people. It's that you're not always going to be able to do that. And if you are able to do that for quite a while, it's going to eventually stop, and then You're talking about like the newbie gains thing ending. Um, but okay, cool. So we're having a hard time this week increasing our weight by 5 pounds. What do we do, right? First of all, am I a failure? No, you are not a failure. What am I doing wrong, Justin? No, you're not doing anything wrong. This is natural. First of all, just see where you're at for the day. How did that peak set go on one of your compound movements? Um, look at the big three, which is going to be nutrition, sleep, and then, of course, stress. So if you are in a state where either one of those three are disruptive, you're having problems with any of them, they could all affect your workout. And then for a lot of people, they're having problems with all three of them at one time. So you have to manage your expectations. If I am low on sleep and I'm highly stressed, and I shouldn't say I ate like shit, I have naturally kind of progressed into, I shouldn't say naturally, I have progressed, or I can confidently say at any point I've not been eating like shit. But maybe I didn't eat enough for recovery. Maybe I didn't have my pre-workout meal, ate too late, ate too early, whatever it may be. So that's my bucket of where I have bad nutrition. But when all three of those are messed up for me, I'm not hitting 300 something pounds for my bench press and 450 up for my deadlift sets. It's just my brain's going to be funked up. If work was really, really tough, I usually have CNS cloudiness where people know what I'm talking about. You're not snappy, especially if you're doing things like Olympic lifting. But for the beginners, for people that might be on the strength foundations, if you're having trouble adding 2.5 pounds or 5 pounds, can you get a rep? Can you get one extra rep somewhere? Can you make some sort of progress? And then we're going to continue falling back here. That is always progress. You're not able to do any of that. Let's say, and this is going to happen to you guys. I've done this before. Like, am I a quitter? I guess. David Goggins, you'd hate me for this, but sometimes in the gym when I just all of a sudden feel that big old wash of, God, I am tired. I've worked out for a while now. I have biceps and calves or some accessory movement. I'm gonna go home. Like, I'm ready. Like, oh, you're not gonna make any progress, sticking through A, B, C, and D. Sometimes you guys, you'll end up going home. I'm not saying you should. I think that you should fight it. I think you should go complete your sets, but that's gonna happen. And on those days, I look at, okay, I didn't get where I wanted to with the gym. I did get in the gym though. I always want you guys to be grateful for the gym, but I also want you to be like grateful for yourselves and celebrate just going in to the gym. And I should replace the gym with just like celebrate exercising. So these walks, celebrate every single time that you go for a walk, because you always fucking couldn't. You always could sleep in. You always could sleep in. You could always sit your butt down. And you could always just choose not to do that. But yeah, just make sure that you appreciate you doing anything. And then I always look at too is like, is there something else I can do in this mental state? For me, it always ends up being like cleaning, cooking, um, doing laundry. Those are easy things for the brain to kind of like get into, and they're generally productive. Um, if I'm really not feeling it on a Saturday for an event or something like that, it's okay to say no to events, guys. I might say, no, I don't want to go to it, and then try to do something productive, like maybe I haven't got my meal prep done for the week, and I'll do that. And then I'll go to bed early. Definitely, like one of the things I'll practice if I do something like that, and I'm like, I should have gone. It would have been good for me to go and socialize. I wasn't ready for it that night. I do something productive in the house, but I like prepare to be very productive the next morning. It's not like revenge productivity. That's a maybe it is. Maybe I say it isn't, but maybe it is. Complete 180. It might be revenge productivity. Is that toxic? Is that not a good thing? It's probably not. But I generally will. Okay, cool. I'm not going to the event, so I can be productive tonight on my Friday or Saturday night. And then I can get to bed at my target normal time during the week, or maybe, whoa, I might get to bed early and get some extra sleep in. That would be good for you. That's always good. So then the next morning I can do what? I can go get a workout in. I can go go for a hike. Go to one of my favorite spots around town and do a longer walk in something that's a little bit more visual, funner place. Especially if you had events the next day and you were pressed for time, and now you just open up more time for you to do something like that. Get yourself in a good positive state of mind. Also, you go to bed with a little bit of that excitement. Not too excited. Please don't get excited before bed. Melatonin, people. But yeah, you end up being very productive the next day. We're on the back side of this building right here, back side of my complex. So we're coming back around. We're coming back. Wait, how does that sound? We'll be coming around the mountain. We're coming around the mountain when we come. We'll be coming around the mountain. We'll be coming around the mountain. I'm gonna sing that the next time I'm at Exploration Peak. I will sing that the whole way to you guys on the back side of it. So when you're going to the back side or out of the front, it's about like a 25 minute walk. So I'm gonna have 25 minutes of me singing coming around the mountain. It's gonna be like one of those repeat YouTube videos. Shout out to people that remember just that golden era of YouTube, of the dumbest shit getting uploaded. The term for it was YouTube poop. And Mudkip, just saying Mudkip for 10 hours, an uploaded video. Getting 80 million views. Did they even have ad money at that point? Because damn, that person, if they had ad money at that point, and that person was making money off of the Mudkip Pokemon video, can you imagine? It'd be funny if I put up a 10-hour video of Mudkip, just saying Mudkip over and over again. And then this dude made, God, he had to have made $1 million off of that if it had ads before it. Had to have made millions of dollars off of it. I don't know how the ad monetization stuff works. Hopefully we'll be able to see. I was mid-talking, or else I said hi to her. something about. This is something I probably have to get over because I think positive human interactions early in the day is a good thing as well. Any of you people that say, "I'm too cranky, I gotta have my coffee," like, shut the fuck up. Say hi to some people. Be friendly for once in your life early in the day. But having this camera on my face, I think people naturally are just like, "Oh, I don't. Okay, cool. He's doing something. Probably shouldn't talk to him." But I don't want to be on the camera. So the couple of people I encountered today, they just generally didn't want anything to do with me. But I think I'm going to be a little bit. I noticed it last night at the park too. I do have to probably then be a little bit more forward and be like, "Hey, it's okay to talk to me," and talk back to them. All right, so we're on our bathroom chronicles, all right, where we talk about when we walk in the morning, when everything kind of activates. We're right at 41 minutes, and I'm just walking back to the house, and it's about perfect timing because I'm ready. So this isn't going to be for everybody, but I know my time is 40 minutes, and I need to be back somewhere where I can relieve myself. And I do usually go right when I wake up. So find your timer. That doesn't mean you have to stop your walks. You can walk longer. Just take your break. If I wanted to, I could just go in, get a little tinkle in, and then just walk right back and out into my community and do some laps here because we have sidewalks around the outside of it. You can definitely do that, but talk about this a lot. Well, not a lot because I only have this is my 4th video, right? I would probably prefer you guys split your walks up throughout the day. One nice big walk in the morning for fat oxidation is great. But you don't have to walk for an hour and a half in the morning. And if the question is, should I have an hour and a half long walk or 2 45-minute walks? I want to say the 2 45-minute ones. Cool. So we're coming up on my place. Thanks so much for watching these videos. I appreciate it greatly. Hopefully I'm getting a little bit better at them. Hopefully the camera quality is getting better. Hopefully framing's doing better, and hopefully I'm becoming a little bit more interesting for you guys with my thoughts. I'm feeling more comfortable, but thanks guys. Appreciate it. Talk soon.